Why the British Crown took over the Indian administration in the middle of the 19th century, why the British government dismissed one of the most successful trading companies in the world from India, and why most of the Indian rulers became subordinates to the British Crown? The answer to all these questions is the Revolt of 1857, the biggest armed resistance to colonialism. There was a rising discontent among every section of the people, right from peasants, tribals, artisans, soldiers, traders to landlords, kings, queens, regarding the British rule over the Indian land. Peasants were unable to pay back their loans, and the demand for high taxes by landlords put additional pressure on them. East India Company deprived artisans of their livelihood, who largely depended on the patronage of native rulers and the nobles. High tariff duties further deepened their wounds. The company seized the land from the zamindars by issuing quo warranto. Company often discriminated against Indian sepoys in matter of pays, allowances, promotions and privileges. They were often made to feel subordinate to the British. Sepoys could not control their anger when a company asked them to use the grease reportedly made of beef and pig fat, cow being sacred to Hindu and pig held taboo in Islam. A young sepoy of the 34th Native Infantry, Mangal Pandey, fired at the sergeant major of his unit at Parakpur. The company disbanded his entire regiment and executed Mangal Pandey. Later on May 9th, 85 soldiers who refused to use rifles were sentenced to 10 years of imprisonment. On the very next day, all the soldiers walked to the jail at Meerut, released the imprisoned soldiers and killed the British officials. The mutineers headed to Delhi to meet Bahadur Shah to bring back Mughal rule. As the news of the march spread, soldiers from Delhi regiments rose in rebellion and captured Delhi. Mutineers proclaimed Bahadur Shah, the last Mughal emperor, as their leader. The revolt took momentum when King Bahadur Shah wrote to all the other rulers to come forward and support the fight against the British. People from various parts of the country started rebellion under the guidance of their local leaders. Rani Lakshmi Bai from Jhansi, Rani Avanti Bai from Mandla, Nana Sahib from Kanpur, Bakht Khan from Bareilly, Kumar Singh from Bihar, Begum Hazrat Mahal from Lucknow, Ahmadullah Shah Maulvi from Faizabad actively participated in the revolt. However, the British passed new laws to convict the rebels easily, brought soldiers from Europe and suppressed the revolt. The Rani of Jhansi died fighting on the battlefield. By 1859, Kumar Singh, Bakht Khan, Rao Sahib all died. Tatya Tope escaped in the jungles of Central Asia and carried on guerrilla warfare. Soon the British managed to recapture Delhi and tried Bahadur Shah in court and sentenced life imprisonment. He was sent to Rangoon, where he died in 1862. The British Parliament passed the Act of 1858, which made the British Crown the sovereign of British India and appointed members from the British Cabinet as the Secretary of State for India to look over the matters related to India. The British suppressed the revolt entirely by the end of 1859. Mutineers lacked political agenda, central leadership, arms and ammunitions, support from zamindars and intellectuals, whereas the British had better communication lines, military leadership and disciplined armies. The disunity of Indians proved fatal for revolt. Though mutineers failed, the rebellion proved to be an important watershed in modern Indian history. It was the first great struggle of the Indian people for freedom from British imperialism. The revolt led to the dissolution of the East India Company and forced the British to reorganize the army, the financial system, and the administration in India. The British government passed an act for the better governance of India. The heroes of the revolt became household names. The revolt served as a perennial source of inspiration